Just making sure everyone, there we go. Okay. Okay, I gotta look at one little thing. We're streaming to multiple, oh wait, still waiting on all of them to show up. Okay. Multiple streams here. Um, okay. There we go. Almost. She thinking. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and join in. So, we are going to do a little Freedom Friday. This is something that I do in all of the groups that I run. So, right now, I have a very intimate container of women who are running who have already completed this well, they either did the retreat that I ran in May or they were one of like the OGs and they did it with me. Like I've been running these containers more or less since about 2019, different variations of them, right? So anyone who's completed a retreat was eligible to join this group. So we have a phenomenal container of women and we do something called Freedom Friday every Friday. And so I wanted to share mine here with everyone today because honestly, I've got like big business updates. And they are exciting and a little bit wild and all the things. And you're going to see some shifts in content, stuff like that. So I really value the community that I've built here. So I want to keep y'all in the loop instead of just being like, skirt. So let's jump in with a little bit of backstory. Okay. So this past year, I had my second baby, and we were two babies under the age of 3 years old. Um, and y'all, it was such an adjustment. Anyone who is like actually in my life, so not just in the internet realm, although like also if you were in my DMs, you saw it too. It was a rough adjustment for our family. And I was so incredibly grateful to this business and the team that I had built around me for the way that it helped myself and my family continue to move through the season of just adjustment with little bitties, right? And so we had outsourced everywhere. We outsourced at home. This is where we fell in love with home management. We had help with childcare in my business. I have a phenomenal operations team and like an entire agency that helps to run the engine on this business. And something I talk a ton about with my clients is that you will not be able to actually feel the feelings until your system regains some safety. And because there was so much stress in the background, there wasn't really opportunity to feel the depth of exhaustion that I was feeling as we were navigating this change with our family, right? Until a few weeks ago. I had an amazing massage with Lauren Casey. Anyone who is in the area, she's located in Frisco. Like, shout out. It's incredible. It's not just a massage. I don't even know how to completely describe what she does. It is absolutely incredible. But guys, like for better and for worse, the feelings were like, we're coming out. And guess what? Like, we're really tired. And so I went and after that, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like my life is falling apart. This is wild. And I just felt this really intense pull to like, I wanted to burn the business down. I wanted to burn it down. I didn't want to do anything. Again, shout out to my OBM, shout out to Alicia. Like, she heard the most of it other than like people in my personal life, right? And it was such this intense, like cognitive dissonance because I've started the podcast. I'm in love with like the marketing that I'm doing right now. We're prepping for the generational trauma retreat that I'm running here in a few weeks. I love, love, love that container. That's like where I feel like I go to feel God in my business, right? And so it's just really intense, like the experience of when you are safe enough, it is going to come up and out. And so I've been navigating that these few weeks, right? So I've been showing up like here and there, but I was quiet last week. I was quiet this week, mostly because I was taking time to get quiet. Something I've experienced as I've been putting out more content is it takes a lot from you. And as this business has grown, like it's literally done actually like the best this year that this business has ever done, right? As we have scaled and done all the things. But as it has grown, as it has expanded, as I've moved into thought leadership and speaking opportunities, your nervous system has to expand with that expansion. Right. And I was having a really hard time with that end of it. Um, so took time to get really, really quiet and big shifts that you're going to see in the business. Shout out to, again, literally like I have I have people ask me a lot how I run this business and how they can implement the things that I do. They'll say, I want to build this. And I'm like, all right, friend, like how much are you ready to put into it? Especially if you want to do it without running everything into the ground. So I have an incredible brand strategist, right? Shout out to Amy Lavallee at Brand Builders, the Brand Builders group is fantastic. I have an amazing coach. I have operations. There are so many there editors, there are all the things. And as I was in this space of really having to decide, am I going to take a breather, or am I really going to allow myself to shift some of my business, not infrastructure, but offerings into what actually feels sustainable and life giving, given this new capacity that I've really found myself in as we are coming out of this rougher transition? Because the truth is, my nervous system is not the same, right? My nervous system is not the same. My capacity is not the same. But what is the same is a very strong sense of integrity and this idea of showing up messy. So this week and last week was putting all the calls out, right? Of, hey, can we pause work so that essentially I can take sabbatical? Because in order for me to, one, continue to serve the clients that I already have and that I love and I adore, without feeling this pressure to do more, do more, do more, right? Like that needs to run out of my system. It's on its way, like up and out. I'm sure y'all have heard me say that like a million times, right? Like it has to come up and out, but you have to give space for it to do so. And if you've noticed my content most recently, we've been pushing to fill the Aligned Accelerator, right? Which is my one-to-one private coaching program that I run seven-figure founders through. And it's fantastic. It's so much fun. And one of the heartbreaking truths, I don't know if I'd say heartbreaking, that might be dramatic, but it is hard. There's a lot of fear of disappointing people, is recognizing I don't have the same capacity for one-to-one that I've had in the past, right? And so it's not to say that will never be there. I'll never take on another private client. But it is to say that my business model is going to shift away from one-to-one. And so you're going to see more of a push toward building audience, building thought leadership, which is just like so much fun. Like, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I'm like, thank you for everyone who's gone and like list, like the podcast is doing really well, like really well, guys. And it's fun. It feels like play. It feels light. It feels like pouring into it like both ways. So you're going to see a big shift toward that, as well as continuing my retreats. Retreats are so much fun, and I have an incredible team that comes to hold that container with me. I don't do it alone. And so for right now, one-to-one is essentially being taken off of the menu. Which again, I wanted to like come on and share the why, but also like this big shift, because literally, like, again, I had to go, like, there were lots and lots of people to go and talk with this process, right? And so you'll notice a shift in content, effective immediately. But I had been pushing, and that's what I thought. Up until probably like, yeah, 2 weeks ago, I thought that's what I was gonna do. I was just gonna, like, September, we were gonna like bang it out. And like October, I was closing the doors, but we were gonna fill all my spots, right? I wanted four more clients, and that was gonna be good enough. And I am in a very privileged position to be able to look at a budget and to say, where can we find space to go play? Where can we find space to realign and recenter? Because that has always been the heart of this business. It's been why I enjoy this business. And it's critical to like my own health of my kids, all the things, but like also I just want to. So I wanted to share, I wanted to be honest with everyone. I also wanted to model that like this stuff doesn't have to look as scary as we think it does. Um, I think that you have to create space in order to get quiet and feel anchored to your own voice, your own intuition. But a lot of times when I'm working with clients, they say, I could never do that, or I could never step away, or I could never tell, this investor that I can't meet this deadline, or that we're not going to have the numbers that we need by Q4, whatever it is, right? We have these stories in our heads that say we can't do X, Y, and Z, when in reality, you are the boss of your whole entire life. And a few weeks ago, my husband and I sat down and said, what does our life look like for there to be more space for me, not as a mom, not as a business owner, but just me? And I'm like really excited about that. Ugh, I haven't had that in a while. So we have more childcare, um, which I have all the feelings about. We started today. And literally, like in my calendar, there's more time to go to the lake, not to recharge, but just to play. So, that is my Freedom Friday. I hope that you are doing something for yourself. And thank y'all for being here. Okay, I wasn't expecting to cry, but here we are. Here we are. Those are my updates. And so also if you're waiting for an email from me, all of the things, there are like quite a few workshops I was supposed to set up this Q4, and it's just not going to happen. Everything is sort of at a pause, and I am more or less going on like a content or like a one-to-one sabbatical. I've got a phenomenal group of women who are starting in October with the Diamond Society. I'm so excited about that group, is my jam. Um, and so I'm getting nice and quiet and getting excited for that. And I will continue to serve the people that I have in my current containers. And retreats will continue. They are super fun. But everything else, like effective today, is we're not doing it. We are going to go to the lake and we're going to play a whole lot more. So I hope you find space for yourself as well, in whatever season you are in. Alrighty, y'all. That's all I got.